Welcome back to Startup City. This is Boaz speaking, and today we're going to be making Korean pickled cabbage salad, which naturally goes with spirits such as sake, which is Japanese. I wonder if the Japanese would like to be mixed with the Koreans. What they call market differentiation. A lot of people don't understand what culture is and how it developed. The simple reason is different kinds of foods that used to grow in different areas formed the type of culture people developed. And foods have an influence on your body skin. The types of foods that people consume affects the hormones, the metabolic system, and that is how people change from being dark-skinned to light-skinned. So today we're going to be making cabbage. What usually goes with the cabbage is that it's cut in large pieces. Some actually make it thin. So what normally happens is that it's usually layered so that every bit and pieces of the cabbage actually has its specific taste. So with every slice of cabbage goes slices of other vegetables, which is carrots and onions. And in my case, I'm going to put a little bit of my style into it, is add some apples to it so that we can have some pickled apples. And this is how you beat the competition, which is they are expecting you to be like everybody, but you are actually doing things your own way and you're happy making things your own way. And that way you're allowing others to also have their own way. Usually people who follow others do not have this orientation. They presume that because they had been following others, others should be following them. Which is why markets crash, because with every invention, with every new thing that people invent, there is new markets developing, new environments developing, new economies are developing. So if you're not allowing others to be themselves and be creative, eventually you find yourself in such a state where you are miserable yourself as a person. And you never get to know what happiness really is. It's quite unfortunate, but a lot of people have taken advantage of people in this way, where they have made them dogmatic in following just one regime in order to favor themselves. And they used scary methods to make that happen, which is where you find, like in the Prince of Egypt, the song You're Playing with the Big Boys Now, where Moses came back with his staff to show the miracles that are possible to do as a warning that the people have been suffocating under the Pharaoh's laws and dogmas. Even though the Pharaoh was already struggling with all the diseases and all, he didn't want to listen to new ideas and new changes, and he was busy bringing out different kind of old tricks. So Moses brought his staff that he had been developing in the desert with him to show the Pharaoh a new way. But because the Pharaoh wanted to be all-knowing and all-seeing, he could not accept publicly that changes need to happen, and by that grew arrogant, and eventually he lost the respect of his people and they all left. So parting of the seas in the Bible means differentiating between character and personality. For instance, in this dish, you add a little bit of hot water so that the cabbage and the spices sink in. The cabbage relaxes under the hot water and becomes more flexible to eat. You can have it crunchy, that's up to you. And what you simply do is you put it under something heavy to press it down. Simply like this, so that everything under the cabbage sinks in. So literally what you're having here is a cabbage salad. It has to stay for a minimum of 2 to 5 days. I hope I have that patience to wait for my delicious meal. Here you can add a little bit of soy sauce, which is in my case the Nigerian type, and then a little bit of oil, usually some people add vinegar, but in my case I wouldn't add it because I've already added soy sauce to it. So all I'm simply going to do is mount on top a flask and have it sit there for the whole night. That's if I can and it doesn't roll off. But generally you understand the idea. It has to be under pressure so that it soaks in. Some people actually use plastic bags and they simply tie it in. In this case, I'm going to use the jerry bread when it cools off. We need to understand that food affects the type of color of skin you have, the moods you're in, therefore your hormones change. And the more advanced foods are, the more your system changes. And food is medicinal, so taking it for granted is not required. When you want to go on a diet, you have to consider a variety of things to supplement yourselves with. Not that you just stick to only meat or only carbohydrates or only this or only fruits. Take one day only fruits, another day another, a third day another, and you relax. Have some dance, do dance with yourselves. The most important part to losing weight is to enjoy yourself as you, as a person. Recognizing yourself emotionally, because that's the time when you're actually regulating your mood swings. Because if you are nervous and tired and you are going on a diet, your your actual effort becomes stressful. So you need to take yourselves out of the environment where you need to diet, give yourselves a little bit of rest, understand your emotions, why you're feeling the way you do. Just because somebody is supposedly overweight doesn't mean that the person is healthy. I mean, sorry, doesn't mean that the person is not healthy. There are very happy people who are in their bodies. There are people who are very slim and they are unhappy with themselves shape wise. So please be realistic about who is supposed to be slimming down and why you should be slimming down. What you have to do is bring yourself to a health condition. That's what I see that is necessary. So yeah, this is going to be a nice meal. Some pickled apples, pickled cabbage with some onion, and tomorrow I'm going to be making some pickled Russian fish. I'm going to go to the market and hopefully I'm going to find mackerel or scumbria, which should be nice. Stay tuned, be happy. This is Bo speaking for Startup City. Hello.